Uh, Hello there, welcome to Pro Gamer Parent. I'm Rick, and today let's talk about your kid's device, or phone, or tablet, or mobile games. We usually talk about computer games here, but I think it's really important that we also address the mobile games, the things we have on the phone. Phones are addictive. I'm quite sure you know that by now, and I'm quite sure you feel powerless for what to do with it. And there is no cure. It is highly addictive. And it's not really the phone's fault. It's not really the game's fault. It's all these platforms and algorithms tuning into what your kids like, tuning into what the friends of your kids like. And they're using all this knowledge to not say, well, your friends just signaled this, or your friend just did this, or shared this. All platforms right now are playing with the psychology triggers on, say, waiting for it. It might be that if you're working, I've been doing tests with this, and you can have a friend doing things live close to you, and you know the algorithms, they delay things intentionally to disrupt you where you're starting to focus on something else. And games are like that too. And I'm not saying I'm pro games. I love computer games, and I rarely play mobile games, but that's because I intentionally focus on the work that matter, and I play games. I think tech shouldn't govern us. Quite often when I go by someone on the street, or I see the panic on the subway when someone is misplacing their phone, or myself, I'm not above this either. I wonder who's in control of who's deciding here, really. And that's a discussion I think you need to have with your kid, how addictive it is. And I'm not saying no, totally ban it, move it away, because that's probably quite a hard thing to do. But I am going to link to a great author called Anders Hansén in Swedish, and I've talked about his book, How to Power Up Your Brain. Sorry, I'm going to read this. The Real Happy Pill, Power Up Your Brain by Moving Your Body. It's actually, the reason I'm looking up the title is I've read it in Swedish. It's a Swedish author. And he has a new book that would translate to Screen Time, about the psychology of the dopamine and everything that happens in the brain around screens. Hopefully it's going to get translated to English. Right now I'm going to link to this previous book so you can find that when it comes. I am going to link to a presentation by Simon Sinek about phones, because I think we need to embrace the dark side of the algorithms circulating the device your kid is holding in their hand. And one first thing to talk about might be disabling notifications, ripping out that nudge, you're trying to focus on someone else, come back, or something else, come back. But also talk about the manager tools said maybe 2005 or something, that what happens with the person you're talking to when you're looking at the clock on the phone versus looking at the wristwatch. Encourage your kid to wear a wristwatch, and when they're curious on the clock, or where they want to be, or how much time do I have to get this done, use the clock, because you're not sending multiple signals to the person you're talking to if you're checking for time. If you're checking on your device, they don't know that. But also, you don't get bombarded by all this stimuli that sidetracks you. Were curious, do I have 8 minutes or 10 minutes to get this done? You're getting sidetracked into something else. And that's important. Learning to focus is important. And this book, it talks about what happens when you have the phone close with your focus. What happens with your connection and your appreciation of the people around you when you have your phone close. He's talking about biology and things that happens. I think as a parent, it's extremely important to know easy guidance and yes, 1, 2, 3, and this is the magic pill. No, it's not true. It's not that simple, but I think we need to know, because the young generation, they've never faced anything like this before, but you have faced huge changes, and you can understand how can I focus on the work that matter when you've never faced anything that this attention stealing before either. But you can help them. What should I do? How should I do things so I get the most important thing done? How can I be happy with this easy comparison and all this everything? And once again, the book talks about it so beautifully, about where we're from, how we're wired, rooted in biology. So why these hooks into our psyche is working so good around. And once again, he's talking about screens. I'm talking about algorithms. It's a huge difference. If we help our kids see this, we can see some games are worse than others. Once again, if we disable notifications and intentionally say, well, now I'm going to play it. Now I'm going to focus on something else. We're making them less powerful into our lives. And that's the discussion I encourage you to have with your kid. And yes, they use phones for a lot of other things too that you didn't think about, like communicating on different platforms. And they too, Snapchat, for example, according to this book, delays a lot of things just to keep you hooked, just to nudge, work on that. Wow, this is curious. I have to look at that. And your kid is just the lamb rat they're experimenting with. And I'm not talking about the specific platforms. All platforms are using it. But it's worth talking about the challenges with having a phone. And perhaps also, can you take it away for just a short time to see what happens with the heartbeat, with the ability to focus, with appreciation for what is, with stepping up to what matters. And it's a tough discussion to have with your kid, but you're not alone. A lot of people are with you thinking exactly the same thing. Please share in the comments if you tried, what happened, and most importantly, let everyone else know you're not alone. And yes, if you have a young one, you do decide how long that device should be in their hand. And even you do know, you are the one who knows better. Their brain haven't been developed yet. And that's why, once again, I'm really pro the computer game, because that's where you decide, now it's time for me to play this game. This is an intentional, and perhaps using an egg timer or something there too, to be consciously deciding. And you know what? It might work with Netflixes too. Netflix is not better. I'm not quoting the book right now, but Netflix is using exactly the same algorithms too, to keep you hooked, to keep you curious, to keep you clicking, even or watching in that case, but clicking after you stop watching, clicking again. So all platforms are using this. And once again, it's not screens that are bad. I'm looking at the screen right now when I'm doing this for you on the camera. It's how we allow them to control us that is bad. And you can vote there. You can help your kid vote with their behavior and not saying, well, I'm going to stop using it like this, and really intentionally start using it like this. And yes, they will fall off the wagon just like you, but it will help tremendously. Perhaps make them sleep better, be happier, focus on the work at hand. And also, don't think that you can keep using your platforms in the same thing, saying, well, it's for their mobile games, it's a different rule set. Because all software right now, all is a strong word, but a lot of software right now is using the same mechanics to keep you hooked, to keep you there. So do put your phone away first. You struggle with not seeing it for an evening or so, and then you have the discussion with them. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one, my friend. Best of luck to you. Bye.